And okay, so as far as tutoring for the reading for the rest of the summer, I think you girls are going away for the rest of July, right? You're going to be going.
Yeah.
Um, so if your parents do decide to continue, which I hope they will, then that will start in August. And your mom is considering doing a 12-week program, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool. You're going to be with other students. So it's going to be interesting for you and actually I think really good for you to be in that group. It's not going to be like school though, because in school you're just kind of you don't get really a lot of one-on-one attention. And here I only have groups large enough or small enough where I can actually pay attention to everybody still. Okay, so I want you to know that you're still going to get the great attention you're getting now, and that will continue. In fact, you might like it. You might like it better because when you're with other students who are highly motivated and also trying to improve their skills, you're going to learn from each other, and you're going to become kind of they're going to become kind of new friends to you in a sort of way, perhaps. Okay, so let's go ahead and share our screen. Okay, so in next week, so I've already been starting to look at the advanced placement tests, but the problem is those tests are 3.5 hours long. So I'm going to give you just a portion of that next week. Okay. So I think what we'll do today, we'll try to finalize your story. Your story final draft is going to be due on Friday, Saturday before our session. And so you're going to see it up here in Google Classroom. And then let's see what else. So I really want to give you girls an opportunity today to finish your work. Now, so let's talk about how you're actually going to do this. Um, Here's our classroom here. And let me kind of move this away. I wish I had a way to move that. Classwork. All right. Screen. Classwork. Okay. So everything is placed under today, which is, or actually week 6. It's day 2. So I got a little more organized here. This is our session document, which you should be opening up. And then
Once again.
over here, yeah, this is your session document, which you should open up. And this is your final draft assignment. So let's take a look at that. So if you can open that up on your computer, open both of those up. So you have your open session document here, which will look like this. So we'll have some purple and pink. Um, sorry, pink, yellow, and green writing here at the bottom page. And then your assignment, you try to open that up as well. So let me move this stuff out of the way. I've got like these other classes with documents up. So it'll be final draft of Twin Story. And you can see it's just a blank document. So you're going to do this. So can you do me a favor now? Can you take your latest draft, okay, and can you cut and paste it into your final draft assignment? So, um, all right, it probably will be under week 4. If you look at Twins Story second draft right there. So just open it up. And again, it always likes to hide. So I have to always go here. And then I go here. So find the place where it's the most recent and then just copy and paste it right into your third or your final draft, which is, let me get rid of that class. Get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Let me escape out of here. All right, we lost our class. Oh, here it goes. Um, Let me know when that's done. Again, it's going to go into final draft when you open it up.
Do I just like attach it?
Well, what you're going to do, um, I would put it right into the same document, but you're going to overwrite it. That
Okay.
makes sense. I want you to leave your second draft just the way it is. So now we have a trail. Now we have the first draft. We have the second draft, which is separate document, and a third draft in a third document, if that makes sense. That way we can go back to your second draft and say, hey, this is what it looks like. We can go back to the first draft and it's totally different. Okay. Makes sense. What you don't want to do is have just one document and you made all the changes in that one document because then we don't get to see how your paper started and how it progressed and how it looks now. Make sense? Does that make sense,
Oh yeah.
folks? Okay. All right. Let me know when that's done, either through the chat or just verbally.
Wait, like it's I only have like actually I think I only have like access to mine, like my erase. So
Okay. You have access to which one? Which of the three?
to mine, like my erase.
Oh, so your sister doesn't have access to it on your device? Is that
No.
kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what's going to have to happen then is that's really interesting. And your computer's just dead. It's not working. Cushy.
No, it's like my she doesn't have it right now, like with her. Like it's like mm,
Okay. It's not
like
available.
yeah, it's not available right now. Yeah, because
Well, then
like
what you're going to have to do,
my computer's like
yeah,
still not working. But yeah.
okay, Mayuri's going to have to log out of her Google account and you're going to have to sign onto your account. And you can actually, if you right click, if you can kind of see what I'm doing right now, see how this comes up and you see how I have two users right here.
Yeah.
If your sister's not already added on your computer, you're gonna have to add her like that. Sign in. See what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's what you're gonna have to do.
Okay. I think you have my document. I sent it to you like before. I think I submitted it. Yeah.
You can unsubmit it if you want.
No, I submitted it. Submitted it in the previous one. Yeah.
Okay, you're talking about Cushy. Is that how you're gonna get access
For
to it
both of
if I
us.
unsub both of you?
Mhm. Is the one we were always doing.
Right. Yeah, and it's been confusing because each time I open it up, so Mayuri's very simplified draft.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at that. That is going to be, let me do this for you. I'm going to go ahead and put it into your third draft, final draft. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. It's weird how it doesn't open it up. I think only you have access to it from your end because I press student work and it doesn't show here. So what you could do, could you do me a favor and can you maybe submit a blank that document even though it's blank?
Mhm.
Uh, and then if you do, then I'm sure I can cut and paste into it. Oh, you know what I could do? I could also return this. That's what might make it easier. Okay, let me take a look. Go back. I think that's probably an easier way. Okay, let's figure this out. Last work, week 4. All right, we'll do that. Mine is very simplified first draft. Oh yeah, you have access to that because you never submitted it.
I attached it.
Okay, you can attach it. Um, but again, I want you to be able to have all of that material in your final draft so that you can fix it if that makes sense. So you want to cut and paste all of the
I did.
contents into your final
You
draft.
can check. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cushy, you can also consider using like a cell phone, but I know those are hard to use with sometimes with Google Classroom. So if if you don't have the Google Classroom app, it might make it difficult for you to actually work within that.
I mean, I can like if you want, you can send like my sister's document in the chat, and I can in my account I can add two documents, like one for my sister and one for me.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, so Cushy, as I pick up your draft, let me know if it's not the right one. Okay, so let's look for the second draft turned in. Oh, would it help you if I returned this, or is that an older version, Myri?
Um, it's the other one.
Right. Okay, that's fine. No worries. Okay, Kushi, let me know which of these two is the right one.
I think it's the other one.
Okay, I remember that day we were working on this. I can remember the colors that the color coding that you did. Okay, sounds good. Um, oh, this is weird. Okay, that's weird. Okay, how do I do this? This would require some technological skills I don't have. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to put it in the chat like that. There you go.
Hey, thanks. Um. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so you just cut and paste that into your final draft, and then that way you can start working on it. And Cushy, if you have to work on it separately from your sister to borrow her computer or borrow a parent's computer, you might just have to do it for homework. And that's fine. We can spend part of our session in a breakout room if you want. Um,
Can you not? Can you just copy and paste the entire document and then send it in the chat, like, or no? But
I can, but it's not going to have any of the color coding. So what I did is I sent you the actual document. But you're saying you
But
can't open
yeah,
it, right? Oh, you
no.
know what I can do? I can create a new document for you. That's what I can do. No, you know what I'll do? I'll make you the owner, Myri.
Mhm.
I'll make you a co-owner. Yeah, that's gonna fix everything. So, you can be an editor there. Okay?
Mhm.
Oh, wait a minute. I did the wrong thing. Sorry. Um, I'm gonna go to her actual. Yeah, here it goes. I'm gonna open it up here, and I'm gonna make Myri a co-owner right there. Right there you go. Okay, let me know if that solves your issue because now you have complete access to that.
Oh, what's it called?
Yeah, it's called Kushikaran, My Story, our story first draft.
Okay.
It's actually in the chat. So I'll put it in the chat again, copy link, and I'm gonna put it in the draft in the chat.
But is this the easy one? Yeah. For some reason, it doesn't like have like it doesn't really have like all the color coding.
The
Oh no,
color
we
coding,
found it. We found it. We found it. Yeah.
you got it? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know that you girls are honest, but I'm just gonna say this. Just be sure that you're yes, you can collaborate, but don't do the work for your sister. Um, just ask each other questions, but do your own writing, do your own typing.
I sent
Um,
the yeah the final drop.
you sent the file drop?
I mean, like both of our documents should be in the final drop under my name.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just saying that when you're in the document, just make sure that you're doing your own work and
Yeah.
never type for your sister. You know what I'm saying? You might tell her what she could say, but even with that, try to limit how much you're telling. And you know, ideally you want to put something into your own words. But occasionally, you know, your sister might say, "Hey, say it this way," and that's fine occasionally. Yeah, and this needs to change right here. Speaker. Okay. You mercy. What the? Okay. How can I be of assistance to both of you right now? Can I be of any help to you? Are you just basically working on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I just like highlight everything?
In what way? Oh, you don't. Okay, so you don't have to highlight everything unless you find it useful. But yes, it might be a good exercise for you to highlight the subject, who or what is doing the action as green and the verb as yellow. I think that would be very helpful to you. And you don't necessarily have to highlight the rest of the sentence in pink for your finished thought. But what I like about highlighting is that it'll show you what your main verb and your main subject is and get rid of all the fillers, get rid of all the longer words. Like try not to have any adjectives or adverbs in this. That's what creates a lot of fluff. We can always add that in later. Okay. So we still like adjectives, we still like adverbs. They're still our friends. But when we're trying to learn to be more concise, I want you to try to get rid of them as much as possible. And remember those multisyllabic words, get rid of them. Look for the easy word. Like I said, remember we're looking for conciseness. Don't give me the same thing you've been giving me. Okay. Really challenge yourself. That's the whole
Yeah.
point of going.
Could you go to like the final draft one because that's where I'm editing it.
Of course.
Okay.
You want me to go to that, or
Yeah.
that's what you're doing? Yeah, just do whatever you need to on your end, right? But here's the thing. You want to cut and paste all of your work from your second draft into your third draft. Don't make any more changes in the second draft because I want that to be kind of a snapshot in time.
Yeah,
Make
but like,
sense?
yeah, you can view my work on the final draft.
I
You
will
like
be able to
assigned
see.
it. It's called final draft.
Yeah, it's called final draft. So
The
it's
final draft of
under,
the 23. Yeah. You can
yeah, it's
see
under,
my edit.
are you asking me if I can see your final draft? I will be able to see it.
Okay.
All you have to do is turn it in. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see my editing. Like I'm like there.
I'm sure I could, but let me take a look. Because earlier this morning when I was tutoring, I could see students working. Um, actually, that was our session document, I think. I'm not sure. Let me check. Okay, there's your second draft here. Third draft. Final draft of Twin Story assigned. Yeah, I can see that you have that in there. Um, yes, good. So you should be exactly perfect. So, Kushi, I don't know how you girls are doing it. Are you like taking turns typing?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Like, is this correct?
Is what correct?
Like my highlighting.
Oh, let me look.
Like so far.
You talking about here?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're looking at, but we have differences. People can distinguish. And you're probably thinking about that last sentence right here, probably. I also inherited. Okay, so that's correct. Inherited, that's correct. And pink, a birthmark on my left hand, that's correct. Now, here's what I want you to do. Put a period right there. Okay. But my sister does not have birthmarks. See, non-inheritance of but it's an awkward way of saying it. It's like me saying to you, I'm eating a hamburger, but you're non-eating of a hamburger, right?
Mhm.
You're eating of a hamburger is non-existent. It's just not the way we want to talk. We want to say, I'm eating hamburger and you're not, right? But my sister does not have a bookmark, right? So
My sister um like it's not contain a word. No, it's not like I don't get it. Like word mark. Or does it not have? Oh, is what does be my verb? I mean, does not
yeah,
have the verb. Like,
yeah, does not have is your verb basically. Yeah,
but,
birthmarks.
and then that would be pink, or I don't get it. A word mark. Oh,
Yeah, pink, perfect. Yeah, you got the right idea. But let's change that. You could like remember, we're trying to simplify as much as possible. Think about any time you make a word very simple, like whereas is okay, put but instead. And that when you go into
like,
Hemingway, it's going to like that more. And your teachers
like,
will like that
however,
more.
my sister does not have like that.
Well, however, and whereas are pretty much the same level. I would put but because remember, girls, this is just practice, right? I'm not saying for the rest of your life you can't use the word however or whereas. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying as you're with me in this 6 weeks that we are together, let's try our best to learn a different way, right? So we have to push you in the opposite direction. Okay. When you feel confident that you're writing at a concise level
Mhm.
and you're understanding what you read,
And then are you saying you can apply those transitions if you're writing concise as well as like applying those transitions in your sentences?
I'm not sure I understand your question. If what you're asking is when you're writing very concisely, those transitions are important, even if regardless of what level of grade level you're writing at, right? Transitions are always important, always, because that's what gives your writing a continuity and a flow and tells your reader where they are going next, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can I show you something real fast? We're
Yeah.
right there. What's the transition you could use when you're um,
But
well,
oh, on the other hand, on the contrary,
but when you're talking about social media, that's just another example, whereas birthmark is one example. So birthmark and social media are not opposites. They don't relate
additionally,
to one.
additionally.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you can say and, or another example is, right? My sister
Oh,
enjoys social media. Because now you're talking about something different than a birthmark. You're
yeah, if
introducing
it's
a
like,
new,
yeah, if it's like that, I said additionally.
right. You're introducing a new item, but it's not but because you're not contradicting anything. You're just introducing a new example. So you can
Yeah, so I
say
said additional.
also,
Oh,
so you can say also, or, you know,
okay.
yeah. So go back up to my twin sister enjoys. Go to that beginning right there. Yeah. Put your transition in there. I like it. Very good. Very good. Right. And don't worry about spellings too much and capitalizations. We'll get to that. Let's put our energy into like being more concise.
Yeah. But I'm like, I excel in the conventions area, like mainly. Would you want me to use consequently?
Well, let me read the sentence first to see what's going on there. Consequently, my sister and I display a certain amount of differences. Is this your final paragraph?
Um, yeah.
You really are you trying to say while my sister and I display certain amount of
No,
differences?
like therefore, in conclusion,
Oh, right, right.
because my the other paragraphs, like the previous paragraphs are like in the top.
I okay. Parasolic? I'm not quite sure.
No, they're in the
Um,
top.
they're on the top. I think if you're talking about a conclusion, yes, you can say finally or to conclude, right? In conclusion.
It's consequently too much like
So
is it like mostly still
cons yeah, consequently is usually when you're talking about cause and
like
effect. Cause and effect. But this is not cause and effect. You're just closing your essay and you're telling your reader. Or to sum up, right? In summary, in conclusion, any of those are fine.
yeah. If I'm saying my twin sister and I here, do I have to highlight the entire thing or do I just make it we? But I like my twin sister and I because it's like finalizing with the statement.
I love your thinking. Your thinking is wonderful. And I would keep it just the way you have it and highlight that whole thing. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. How can you how can you, okay, a certain amount, right? How can you simplify those two words, certain amount? I'm thinking one little word that it's four-letter word that begins with S.
Yeah, I said, yeah.
I love it. Very good.
No, should I say but?
Yeah. Try but. Now, this is a perfect moment right here. You know what I would say?
Mhm.
I love this right here because this is how I teach grammar.
Mhm.
If you use the word but a lot within this essay, I would change that to however or nonetheless, because you need to have some variety here. You don't want it to be too like wooden and too dry sounding. So that's when you can use these larger words, especially if you notice in this part of your essay where it's kind of short, right? And let's say you've given the reader a lot of short sentences. Now you can add some variety.
Okay. It should be the noun, the subject, yeah.
No, you know what that is? That's not the subject. You know what that is? This whole thing right here is an adverbial phrase that's modifying they. They is the main subject.
Oh yeah.
Perceive, right? This is all parenthetical right here. In fact, that's not even necessary. You can just say, instead of they, tell me who they is. People around the world perceive that twins. See what I'm saying?
But like from the standpoint of individuals worldwide perceived like that.
Way too wordy.
Um, like individuals were worldwide like perceived like that.
Well, yeah. When you don't have to say from the perspective or the viewpoint, if you're also saying perceive.
Okay.
In other words, you can say individual, yeah, that's fine, but stop right there for a second. I
Mhm.
want to show you something. Um, let me take this sentence here and show you a couple ways you can do this. Okay, I'm going to do this in a chat. Okay. Let's take a little break right here and I want to show you something. You have two options because it's like part of your sentence is unnecessary. I want to give you a choice. Individuals worldwide perceive that twins, blah, 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 right? Let's not worry about the rest of the sentence. That's one choice. Another choice would be from the perspective.
From the
What word
standpoint?
did you use? What I'm sorry, what word did you use?
From the standpoint.
Viewpoint? Okay,
Standpoint.
from the standpoint of people worldwide,
Wait, should I
twins.
say people or individuals?
Give me a second here. Okay, you see what I'm doing here? When you say from the standpoint of people worldwide, and then you say perceive, it's way too much because perceive is already carries the idea of people having a different standpoint. So both of these say the same thing. I would say if you want to get rid of all this words, which is part of what I'm trying to get you to do, I would go with this choice one. Does that make sense? You don't want to say from the standpoint of people worldwide and then say perceive because that means the same thing.
Yeah.
When somebody perceives, they are seeing it from their standpoint. So you're almost like you're doubling up and saying it's like you're saying something twice, and it's not
Well, if
necessary.
I didn't want to say like perceiving, I wanted to keep like from the like standpoint of individuals like worldwide.
I got you. I understand. Okay, so let's work with that. I like it. Okay. From the standpoint of people worldwide, twins portray. Now, again, I think this is a lot of extra words. Um,
So you want to like more simpler?
well, no, I'll work with this because this is you're going to have to learn how to do this on your own, right? When you have a sentence that's this long. Okay, from the standpoint, you mean the perspective or standpoint? So, what words can we get rid of?
Um,
Okay, do we have
like
to say worldwide? I mean, does it really matter if they're in India or Australia or United States? Aren't you just trying to say it's other people other than twins?
yeah.
Or you could even say, watch, you could if you're trying to say the world, because I that may be an idea that's important to you in your mind. You can say the world thinks that twins portray. See what I'm saying? That may be what you're trying to say. But you would never say this, from the people in the world. Way too many words because we know that the world has people in it, and the reader already knows we're talking about people. So you can say the world thinks. So watch this. Watch what I do here. From the world's,
Oh, you can say from the world standpoint.
there you go. I think this is it. From the world standpoint, we already know that people, we're talking about people. We're not talking about pandas. We're not talking about frogs. We already know that it's about people, right? From the world standpoint. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see how much work it took just to get at that? See,
Yeah.
that is normal. Okay. It takes a lot of work.
What if you had limited time in the like the SAT?
I love that question. That is a greatest question. My answer to that question is practice, practice, practice. Have you ever learned something that you weren't really good at in the beginning, but then you practiced and you got faster and faster over time?
Yeah.
What was that?
Roller skating.
Yeah. Did it take you a lot of extra time in the beginning? And you went slow and you fell
Yeah.
down, you went slow and you fell down, you went slow, right?
Yeah.
And then it became second nature. So here's what you're going to do. Maybe next week we'll talk about giving you some assignments you can do on your own. And you know what that's going to consist of? You and your sister looking at essays that are written very simply and copying them down over and over again and copying down different
Um,
essays.
some of the essays I saw they use kind of complicated words.
Yes. Well, they're not the best examples because they were taken from, okay, when they wrote this book, let me show you. You're talking about the example I gave you from here?
Yeah,
Are you talking about the examples that came from here?
the one that says.
Okay. I was reading today that a lot of these examples come from students. They want to show you, the students who are buying this book, that there's a lot of different ways to get a high score. So they're going to show you some students that have complicated answers, and they're going to show you some students that you may not have seen because I didn't give you a lot of these. I think I gave you one or two that were not concise. But, I know from experience being in high school, when I was in 11th and 12th grade, my friend Joe is the smartest guy I ever met. He wrote in a very intelligent way, but you could understand what he was saying, right? His words, like his sentences were short. Some of them were longer, but there was a mixture. Okay. So does that answer your question? Because you're thinking about the
Yeah.
SAT, and I love that question because that's reality, right? You're not going to have hours and hours and hours to do that on the SAT. What you're going to have to do, Myri, when you comprehend, you just said it last time, when you comprehend things that you read, you are going to be able to explain them in
If
simple
you don't
ways.
get the passage,
That's a whole other problem. That's a whole other problem. Okay. That's why I would like to work with you too for additional weeks because then we can look at ReadWorks. Okay. And we can
yeah.
assign stuff. So, um, can I show you that real quick?
Mhm.
ReadWorks. Okay. Here we go. Let me know if you can see my website here. It's not my website, but it's a website. And if we go to content, okay, we're going to select reading passages here. Okay. You're entering ninth grade. Okay. So let's say we pick fiction. Okay. And we need some questions here. Open-ended, inferential. Okay. Let's look at this passage here. So, what do you see here? Vocabulary activity, questions, right? Does this look familiar to you? You get questions all the time with what you read,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Now, the answer to your question is reading like a detective. There's a whole lot of things that are going to help you understand the passage. You're asking me if you're on the SAT, right? You're asking me if you're in that moment, you're trying to write something, but you don't understand what you read. Is that right?
Mhm.
Is that right? Okay. Um, well, the answer to that question is number one. Let's say you've done everything you can to understand. Vocabulary is super important. If you've been studying your vocabulary throughout the year, you're going to understand a little bit better. Also, um, but I know what you're saying. There are times when you don't understand. It's too late, right? You're there, you're in the middle of the test, you got 30 minutes, and you're like, what on earth do I do? I don't know what you do. What I would do is try to make sense of something and try to wing it with the question. If you understand the question, then as long as you're writing in an organized way that you can introduce what you're trying to say, then you say it. First main idea. Keep it in a separate paragraph. And the next thing you want to say. But Myri, I'm going to be honest with you. The problem that you're talking about, it all goes together. Whether you're asking me about reading or writing, and it's this: you have to slow down and understand what you read. And part of that is falls on us as adults, as teachers in your class. You need to ask questions, right? And then your thinking needs to be clear. I have a feeling, and tell me if I'm wrong. Whenever you explain something in writing, like you were talking about the seventh grade or third grade, why were you able to write so simply? Is that because you understood it better or you didn't know these big words? You hadn't
Yeah,
had a
we got
chance
it
to
more.
learn them.
Like
What's that?
we didn't like receive as much as passages, and like we just like wrote like we like to write like really lengthy sentences. We didn't really care about the grammar. We were just wrote really lengthy sentences. Now we do advanced and lengthy.
Okay. But did you understand what you're reading in those earlier grades?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. So let's take some time. Girls, can we take a 2 minute break just to give you a kind of a chance to just recharge the brain? And then we'll come back at 6:37. And then I want us to do an exercise right now, which I think will help us. Okay. So we're going to use some sentence frames and everything. So I think will help you. Okay. So let's take a break for a couple minutes. Be sure to listen for my voice when I say, okay, we're ready to start again. That way you can be ready.
Yeah.
Our little session here.
Morning. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go for a couple of minutes here. I'm also going to explain the homework for you. So, what might you guess is our homework?
Um. Um.
Well, working on a draft, right?
Mhm. I like
Yeah.
making it simpler, like or maybe the IVF sentences, and adding like transitions if needed.
Yeah, exactly. Read it out loud. Read it out loud to each other. Like when you're done, like Myri, take turn, read your whole thing. Stop at each paragraph and then have Cushy ask you questions if you don't understand what it is. Help each other, make it simple. Use Hemingway, right? Finish that draft and try to get it to 10th grade reading level. Okay. So you're going to try to impress your mom too, because I know that's going to really motivate both of you. Because, it's good to impress adults, but let's change what we impress them about, right? Does that make sense? If you work on making writing concise
I always impress
and
them by using advanced words.
you were, yeah, I was, well, you know what? And that's not going to disappear completely. But for this time, you got to, it's like a temporary thing right now. We're trying to train you a different direction, right? Right? If I break my arm, am I going to be in a cast forever?
No, no.
No, just for a short period of time. And then it needs to heal. And once it heals, then I can start to abuse it again, right? I can start to do push-ups and things like that. That's what we're doing with our writing is we're just taking a break from all the big words. We're taking a break from
That'll
all
be easier for
complicated
me.
sentences.
Yeah, it'll be more like time effective.
Yeah, and guess what? You're always going to be able to impress people with a big vocabulary. But first, make sure your sentences are very easy for people to understand.
But like I'm
You're
just the primary focus for me is to like get the passage. And
Yeah,
then I
and
can
that's
make it
why
back.
we need to work on reading together. We need to work on reading. because it's going to take time. And I'm a reading specialist too. I know how to teach kids how to comprehend more clearly. We do all kinds of strategies. For example, we use TPR by basically, I had my seventh graders learning about the sedimentary layers of the earth, and there's four different principles, and we did all with hand motions. And that helped them to remember what they were reading. Because I said, okay, the principle of lateral continuity means that rocks are
The
separated,
law of constitutionality.
right? The principle of superposition, and we used our hands like that. When you do stuff like that, and that's called TPR, stands for total physical response. That's one of the techniques and strategies to understand what you read, because you can convert it into sign language and you'll remember it better that way. And you'll learn things from using your hand motions, for example. You'll learn to visualize. You'll learn to stop and ask questions. You'll learn to summarize, right? When you read a passage and you're not quite sure you understand it, you pick the most important words and you try to explain the story from your own in your own words. Your brain will learn how to do that by you just saying, "Hey, what's the most important word in this sentence?" Right? I like hamburgers, right? What's the most important word in that sentence? Two words, like hamburgers, right? Notice you didn't get lost in all the long sentence. Watch this. I really enjoy the imbibing of the eating of the activity of eating things such as hamburgers. Wasn't that
That's
a
better.
very long sentence?
That's better. Like that's a better sentence for me. Yeah.
No, no, it's not. I tried to make it worse. I tried to make it overly wordy. But but what I'm trying to say here, pick out of all the words I gave you, what are the two most important words? I
Like
thoroughly
hamburger,
enjoy what's it's that. What's that?
like hamburgers. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So when you're reading these long sentences in a passage, the reason why you're confused, you need to learn how to simplify it in your own mind, right? You're doing
Yeah.
the opposite of what we're doing now. Notice you're writing to be concise. When you read something that's complicated, you need to try to pick up those, what are those most important words? What are the most important ideas? Then write that down, and then it'll make more sense to you because it won't be all these words confusing you,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're a better reader, you'll be a better writer. When you're a better writer, you'll be a better reader. Okay. Okay. I think we're out of time because I have another appointment. So please um, finish these drafts and turn it in. And we'll look at it in our next session. Our next session, we're going to do a post assessment. We're going to spend 30 minutes um,
Huh?
showing how much we learned from all the 6 weeks. So you'll
Okay.
have two prompts. You'll write for 30 minutes, 15 minutes on one, 15 minutes on the other. Okay. That'll be the majority of the session on Saturday. And the next week, I'm giving you a free week because I want to work with you a little bit. And we might do like a practice AP level prompt. And I'm going to give it to AI and I'll also grade it. And you'll see what kind of grade it's going to give you. Then you'll kind of see, oh my gosh, this is the grade I got on an advanced placement. And I'll take the question right out of that book too. It'll be a real question from here.
What's an example of an AP question?
Well, we can talk about that. Save that question for me on Friday or Saturday, and I'll answer that question because right now I have to go to another appointment. Unfortunately, otherwise I would spend the extra time with you. So, okay. So good
Yeah.
work, and Cushy, please try to get your technology working.
Mhm.
All right. Talk to your mom about it. See if you need to get it repaired, or maybe you've got too much on the computer. I have no idea. So, all right. Have a pleasant evening, and I'll see both of you on Saturday. Thanks for the good work. You're fully engaged. I can tell you're way different than you were in the beginning. You're super motivated right now, and I really appreciate that. It makes me very happy to see that. So, congratulate yourselves. Pat each other on the back. Okay. All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.